right, I am back with another Destiny 2 video. I am going to force myself to stop talking about Onslaught because I'm not sure there's a whole lot more to say other than I'm still having fun with it. I'm going for, the good midnight coups and the good mountaintops, and I do not have shinies of either yet. I wrote about the shiny drop rate earlier, which I think mine is like 3.8. Some people are reporting lower. It's a little complicated. But it's very rare, and it should not expire when the final shape comes out. I wanted to talk about something we haven't touched on in a very long time, and this is the age-old concept of Destiny potentially getting some sort of show. Whether that is animated, whether that is live action, it's one of those was, supposed to happen at some point here. I think we're in a very different situation now than we used to be. This is mostly inspired by the Fallout TV show that recently has aired on Amazon. Almost everybody loves it, except a bunch of New Vegas fans that are pissed off for no reason. It is an excellent adaptation. It joins The Last of Us as, this incredible live action adaptation of a game concept. It has Halo fans very mad and sad that the Halo show did not respect the source material nearly as well as the Fallout show has. So the Destiny show. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. I'm having some throat issues, but hopefully it's not too bad. It seems increasingly unlikely that this is happening, I don't know about ever, but like anytime remotely soon. This has been talked about for an exceptionally long time, pretty much since Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy got promoted to be like directors of the Destiny universe or whatever. And then also Bungie put an ex-media executive on their board. I think it was somebody from CBS, I believe, with the idea that there would be some sort of expansion here from Destiny into TV or movies or something like that. And as we've seen an increasing number of those projects come to fruition, be they animated or live action, with Destiny being this long-running series, this important IP, something with a big fan base, it seemed like, okay, they should probably try and do this. I've always thought animation would be the better path here. If you go live action, this would have to be an absurdly expensive production, whether it's TV or a movie. I mean, just think of the nature of Destiny and, the superpowers of light and darkness powers, all of the alien races, which would have to be insanely expensive practical effects, or it'd have to be CGI. It is hard for me to imagine a show on that scale that would not bankrupt someone. Obviously Halo is sort of doing this. Halo has its enemy races, really just one enemy race they're fighting right now. And then it has, its practical effects, its battle scenes. But as we've seen, the battle scenes are pretty limited. They're limited to one race. It's big events like the Fall of Reach, they have to kind of constrain. And also that's Halo. And I would definitely say that Halo in the grand scheme of gaming is a more iconic IP than Destiny. Obviously I love Destiny in the universe, but in terms of widespread appeal, it always felt like something like Halo would be more of a sure thing than someone spending $200 million on a Destiny show. So that leaves an animated project. I've been sitting on this for a while because I wasn't, it's been long enough where I heard a long time ago that there was a Destiny Netflix show, like kind of being tossed around like an animated one. But ultimately it just didn't really come together. I'm not sure how far it got. I think it was in like the scripting phase or something, but this was a long time ago. I think it was before the Sony acquisition, I'm pretty sure. And obviously Sony owns Crunchyroll and the biggest anime distribution service on the planet. So if Bungie was to make a animated series now, obviously it would be through Sony and that animation arm. Probably rather than something that would go to Netflix. So that seems to be kind of an old idea that was potentially being worked on, but ultimately didn't pan out. Again, that didn't really seem to be far along, but the point is nothing has happened. Nothing has been announced after all this time. Again, we really have no idea what Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy have been doing all this time. We just saw Luke Smith pop up, to promote the final shape, like as some sort of, ancient artifact that has resurfaced in the wake of Joe Blackburn leaving the company and being replaced as director. It just doesn't seem like this is really going to manifest. I don't think a live action show or movie is really in the cards, periods. I'm guessing. I guess you could do something that's like more grounded, one of Destiny's sub stories that is, a little more story intense rather than a little more battle intense. But I think it's pretty easy for all of us to imagine Destiny as an animated series, as an anime. So that still seems like the path forward. But it has been years since we've been talking about this idea, years and years and years. And it has been, was it now 2 years since the Sony acquisition? And again, we've just heard nothing. Obviously, Bungie is also not in the best of states right now. They are using all available resources to push out the final shape, push out things like Into the Light, push out future episodes. And then what is, left of the company, they are working on Marathon. They just suffered layoffs that was like 11% of the company, 9% of the company, 100 plus people, and they do not seem to be hiring back up in any meaningful capacity. So I just don't really know who is available to sort of consult on this, to work on this, something like that. I guess someone like Luke Smith is supposed to be doing that, but you kind of need someone like that doing this, because like, what do The Last of Us and Fallout have in common? That I would argue the Halo show does not have in common. Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog is like the co-showrunner of The Last of Us, or he's like EP or something. He's like essentially running that show with Craig Mazin, and is just intimately involved in every aspect of it. Meanwhile, for the Fallout show, Todd Howard was like super, super intimately involved in its creation, its direction, like what they could do, what they couldn't do. Working with Jonathan Nolan directly, and I just don't know what the equivalent here would be with Destiny. A lot of the originators of some of the oldest Destiny storylines and stuff are not even there anymore. There is no like Neil Druckmann, Todd Howard figure. I would say that is equivalent. Maybe way back when I would have said that's Luke Smith, but I don't think that's true now. Even someone like Joe was managing the live game. But he's not, a Bungie OG person, and I don't know who would be there supervising. So it would have to be, someone kind of doing their own, their own take on it, and maybe consulting with Bungie. I don't know if Bungie is in the state where they could, split their focus like that. They're missing these revenue goals. They're, as we can see, like Bungie is really busting their ass to try and like crank out, some of the best Destiny content they've done in a really long time, both from Into the Light stuff, which I think everyone likes mostly, and the final shape with all these new reveals. They built a new enemy race. They built a prismatic subclass pretty much in the time since the layoffs, like when, from the delay period. Like they are hauling ass to try and make, the finale of Destiny, not, I guess not as a whole, but something, significant and like the best thing it's happening. Luke Smith did say that there will be more from Destiny 2. There will be more from the Destiny universe. I guess you could interpret that as something, multimedia happening with Destiny. Kind of adjacent to this is there used to be rumors of like some Destiny spinoffs, whether that was like a mobile version of Destiny in some form or another, whether that was some sort of side project set in the Destiny universe. But again, those are also things that do not seem to have manifested. Like nothing has been teased, nothing has been announced, nothing has been leaked. Like we have so many leaks happening at Bungie right now. A lot of the time, there used to be insiders, there used to be NDA breakers, but now there's a bunch of fired people who are really willing to talk. Nothing about any of this stuff. Like the information I have about maybe they were starting to work on an animated series like years and years ago, I don't know. That's probably the best you're going to get. And it doesn't seem like something that is currently happening, currently in the cards for the foreseeable future. That said, like, we could hear an announcement of like, oh, something is in development and like, this is happening with this, but like that happens all the time. Like the Uncharted movie, for instance, was in development for like a decade, to the point where Mark Wahlberg, originally set to play Nathan Drake, ended up aging to the point where he played Sully. So just because something is announced, there's a difference between that, getting to production anytime soon. Cyberpunk Edge Runners was something that was announced a long time ago. I think it was right when the game launched, and then people just sort of forgot about it. Everyone was caught up in Cyberpunk being so bad, and yet that ended up being awesome. So like, it's not impossible. I just don't. It's a little hard to see it actually happening, to see it actually pan out, given the state of Bungie right now, and I would argue the broader appeal of Destiny to a wider audience. Like, it does still have a significant player base, but I would worry about them throwing, Sony being willing to throw even more money into Bungie, into the Destiny universe right now, when they're just trying to manage Bungie on the game side right now. So, yeah, so that's my kind of take on things. I would like to be wrong. I would love to see any sort of Destiny realization on screen. I would worry it would lean more toward Halo than Fallout if not handled completely correctly. So that's why I'm kind of more on board for an anime series, like some great studio handling that. But I think that's sort of a dream at the moment. So yeah, so that's my little aside here. Go watch the Fallout show; it's awesome, and hopefully we'll get a season 2 announcement very soon here. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.